Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. In this video, I'm going to be running you through this week's GM Nightfall, which is the Heist Battleground on the Moon, not the PsyOps Battleground on the Moon. It's very important to make the distinction, as one is very annoying and difficult, whereas the other can actually be done solo if you know the right tips, tricks, and glitches to use therein. And I'm going to run you through all of them, as well as the best strategies to use for every part of this strike. But first, if you can complete this Nightfall this week, you will earn yourself the Plug 1 Fusion Rifle. And of course, if you can get it done on the GM difficulty, you will earn yourself the Adept version of the Plug 1. A lot of good rolls for PvE available on this Fusion Rifle. I'm going to run you through a few of them really quick, as well as the modifiers for this week's strike. As you can see on the left, we have for this week's champion modifiers, Barrier as well as Unstoppable. As far as rolls go for the Plug 1, we almost have every barrel. We have Feeding Frenzy, which looks like it could be pretty good. We also have Adrenaline Junkie, Kickstart, Reservoir Burst, Cornered, and then we have the 2 origin traits. Vanguard Vindication has always been one of my favorite. We also have the Accelerated Coil in the second column, so definitely some good PvE rolls to be had. Make sure that you bring Void as well as Stasis Surge this week, as they're also in the modifiers for the Nightfall. And that will go through the strike step by step. Know that most of these clips were actually recorded in a previous season, and this strike has only gotten easier since then. This was actually before we even had Prismatic. So Prismatic will make this go quite a bit easier. Obviously the champion modifiers are a bit different, but the same strategies will be used regardless of the champion modifiers. As I said, it'll only get a little bit easier now than it was at the time when this clip was recorded. But for this first area of ads, it's best just to stay up on this cliff. You're going to have a lot of different areas that you can stand, as you are just basically in the free roaming zone on the moon. But this spot provides good cover, as well as the best ability to do damage to all the ads spawning below, regardless of whatever weapon you're using. You can even use fairly close range weapons. For the next room, and this is really for a solo strat, you can actually get up into the ceiling. This is certainly not going to be the fastest method of getting through this room, but you can do certain inner acts, though I don't believe they'll necessarily count, but you might want to check, as they did at one time, but I think that was actually patched. However, this room does provide a very good vantage point for the entirety of the room below, or that scaffolding above. Important to know that Malfeasance actually does double damage even to Scorn, because it was released in the same season. Most people think it's just to Taken enemies. It actually works on Scorn as well. So decent weapon to bring as far as exotics, though I know they don't play really well into the current meta, especially the champion meta this week. As far as group strats go, if you don't want to get up into the ceiling, or that just takes too long, you can of course stay by the door. That's the one you enter through, or you can go to the opposite side and use any sort of healing. You wouldn't necessarily need to use a well at this point, but stack up behind these 2 boxes. Enemies do spawn to your right, but it provides quite a bit of cover. The door provides a bit more, but you're sort of bottlenecked, so prepare to die more outside of the room from snipers, whereas in that room you can get the revives a little bit easier. I find once you're behind those two boxes on the opposite side, it's a bit faster to go through the room, so I actually prefer that method over the door method. When you get to this area where you have to shoot the runes before moving on to the boss arena, make sure that you go around and up to the top, as you saw us do. If you're using your lasers to take out the runes efficiently, you should be able to get 2.5 with every single laser. So this should also help you get through that room quite a bit easier. Make sure instead of holding down the laser, just sort of tap the trigger on it. It actually counts for more and you use less. Well, maybe it doesn't count for more, but you certainly use less and will have the same effect. And for the boss room, and this is going to be primarily, again, for solo players, though I think this is actually a good group method as well. You can get above the room, above the entirety of the boss arena, simply by either going to the back side of the room where the boss will spawn before you actually start the encounter, jumping up onto these big pipes, and you can make your way up to the scaffolding above the entirety of the boss arena. Now, you can do this from the opposite side as well, but it's a little bit more of a difficult jump, at least to start with. The way we went, the only thing you have to be careful of is there is a death barrier if you go too far back. So make sure that you try to get on those pipes on the left side as quickly as you can. Or you can go this way that you see me using right now. Now, I was on a warlock, so it makes those jumps a bit easier than, say, if you're on a hunter. A lot more forgiving on a warlock. But that's also another way of getting up here, and there is no, of course, death barrier or turn back barrier. There is adjoining allies if you jump above, so if you ever need to get down to the bottom of the map or spawn in and you don't want to just jump down and risk maybe dying, you can just do the joining allies. You can do damage to the boss when you're up there. You can even jump down and revive your enemies, and of course you can also duplicate the bombs that you will later need to deposit. So this will allow you to stay up here for the, let's say, extended period of time that you would normally need. So you really only need to stay up here until you have to deposit the first wave of bombs. And then you could probably jump back up here if you wanted to do damage to the boss, or you could leave a teammate up here to do damage to the boss. I'll really let you decide. But it makes the whole process quite a bit easier, and I think more accessible to solo players if you're able to duplicate the bombs. But even if you can't, you can still just jump down, deposit a few, and then jump back up. So overall, this is actually going to be a really easy strike to get done on GM difficulty. It is a bit long, but a very easy one. So hopefully everybody can benefit from this week. And that is going to be it for all the information in today's video. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Sinister for helping me out, of course, as always. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things also enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. When and if we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away an Xbox or a PlayStation or a video card if you play on PC. If you've watched till this point in the video, you can leave a hashtag the final shape or a hashtag Revenant or a hashtag the name of this strike in the comments section down below. There was also a Revenant Act 2, Episode 2, Act 2 reveal stream today, which has some interesting things in it. I would suggest everybody maybe go over and take a look at that. One of the better, let's call them sub-act live streams I've seen. We're going to be getting Prison of Elders coming, I believe, on the 19th, if I'm not mistaken, with the launch of Episode 2, Act 2. So that should be pretty exciting. So some good gameplay on there, as well as some weapons to expect. I'm going to let the gameplay roll a little bit for anybody who might need any more specifics without me talking. If you just want to see a replay of all the glitches and cheeses we discussed, or tricks, whatnot. But as always, I am Wilhelm Scream. Appreciate you watching, and of course, we will see you next time. Little